Welcome back to another Age Buddies diplomacy game, and we're playing Exploding Kings again. This time we are playing on the map Coastal. At least I think it's Coastal. It could just be Nomad. Nope, Coastal's correct. And it starts off as a free-for-all, but it is diplomacy, so players can ally, and you'll see that happen as they start the game here. So to introduce our players, starting here at the bottom in the blue, we have Hagbadur. He's playing as the Tatars and around 1050 team or elo. In the purple here is Chopsticks. He's playing as the Incas and he's about 1245 elo. To the north of him is Death Maul. This is actually our highest player in the game and who's been playing today. And Def Maul, also known as Def Vader, you've seen him on different channels such as T90s, playing in community games there, famously without any game sounds during some Exploding Kings Regicide games. So he's probably our most experienced in terms of large Exploding Kings games. But Chopsticks might still hold the title for the most wacky game strats to try to win on. Following around here to the north of Def Mall is Mr. Chuckles playing in the yellow as the Bulgarians. Farther past him, we've got Baldwin playing in the orange as the Burgundians. To his south, we have Matthias playing in the gray, and he got Teutons. We hear a Wololo come in. And past Matthias, we have Sems playing in the green as the Lithuanians. Another classical good civs. And then finally, but not least, we've got Google Wise playing in the teal, and he is playing as the Italians. Now, Google Wise is showing as our least active or lowest rated ELO player, followed by Sems and Matthias. So these three in the south here would probably make up the low end of our pool here. Meanwhile, the pool over here with red, blue, and purple are probably the high end, and Mr. Chuckles and Baldwin are kind of bordering, along with Hagbadur, that end of it. So it'll be interesting to see how the teams shake out. Looks like this map has plenty of resources too. So, like most like most diplomacy games start, this will probably end up going till Imp before we see anything happen. Yeah, that doesn't mean we won't see something happen earlier. One thing I want to check, though. I think we only have one king. Yep. So in previous games, when we play Mega Random, we actually get two kings, but this is a true Exploding Kings diplomacy game with one king per player. Everyone does have a castle to start with, but yeah, that is going to be impacted there. Looks like not everyone has allied everyone either. Google, Chopsticks, and Sems all not allying right away. That is a classical mistake that players do. It's a classical mistake players make. They're focused on their eco, such as Google. They really want to have a good start. They might be worried about the long-term viability in the game, especially with some higher players like Chopsticks and Def Maul. And they forget about their diplomacy, and that's really going to impact them in the long term. So let's take a look at some of the talking we've had. Def Maul started it out and wants to befriend his neighbor here, Mr. Chuckles. And looks like we did just get a nice answer back to that. Sems, chatting to all, says looking for allies to make it to the end with, to have an epic ending fight in the end. Google quickly agrees. Baldwin also agrees, and Matthias does as well. So, using all chat, these four players here in the south corner have all agreed to work with each other, which is interesting. And they've all seen each other's response. I'm sure we'll see over time if this actually ends up working in their favor, or if there's going to be some issues with how that plays out. And maybe suspecting some of those future issues. Death Maul, trying to say Darth Maul, but Death Maul does reach out to Baldwin and ask to be friends exclusively. And looks like he just confirmed a team of 3. So there's an unofficial team of 4, but already of that team of 4, someone has signed up for an exclusive team of 3. And this looks like it's going to be a power team in the end. Darth Maul is really going to be someone they're going to need to focus on. And I know Darth Maul is considering that. So to only talk to one player or 2, you need to go into the diplomacy menu. Look at the top right. It's going to be the window to the left of where you change who your allies are, which you should ally everyone. And you only select 1 or 2 players and you type it in that window. If you type in the all chat, you're going to talk to everybody in the game. And if you don't select just 1 or 2 of those people, then your enemies will see that as well. So that's something that you, Matthias, and Sems need to do better at only typing to select players. Good luck, Google. Coming in live for some advice. Again, we don't play these community games too often, but when we do, we do welcome anyone in the group. AgeBuddies.com actually has a link to the Discord, and on the Discord you'll see us talk about these Sunday streams where we do these fun events. We try to switch it up, do something new or interesting. We did Exploding Kings last week, but we had enough interest to do it again. And right away, we're seeing Darth Maul show how to correctly Diplo. This is really good, and I think everyone who's playing in this game, who doesn't normally play Diplo should look at this and use this as a good example. He's focused on his eco, but equally as focused is keeping his team together, keeping his team in the same page, and hopefully with a good result too. It's easier to win the game if you have allies, even if you're later or the last person to Imperial Age. It's gonna benefit you to be slower up but have more allies than to be the first person up and have no allies. And Chopsticks is going for a really big boom, you can tell because of his super late feudal time. Looks like he went for 38 Vils, so that's an Omega boom. You see that a lot from players that are used to relying only on themselves. It's a really good way to set your eco up to be very strong late. and typically that doesn't come with any downsides during the game, especially a diplomacy game, because the action doesn't really kick off until at least Castle Age. So making feudal aggression pay off is much harder to do. Chopsticks and Sems are the only 2 players who have not allied anyone. And it looks like this could have a negative side effect long term. As we just saw Sems kill the scout from Mr. Chuckles. And I muted there for a moment. Promise you don't want to hear me get my burping out. And as I was burping there, I was able to read Dan's wonderful comment. Thank you, Dan. David, you are doing a great job bringing people together, building a lovely community, and creating interesting educational content. Educational, you might be fibbing on me, but I'll take it. Thank you very much, Dan. And I appreciate your support. You're a VIP because you've supported this too. So really, I'm going to say thank you for helping grow and being a part of this wonderful community. And as I fight my voice from giving up on me, we see Matthias and Sems go for some aggression. This is really funny. First, they shouldn't fight each other. But then second, fighting this walled piece to just come around here and see the lack of walls. There's just something beautiful about that. So that's pretty funny to watch. Sems is in castle, so this aggression and feudal isn't gonna pay off much for Matthias. I did just say that. Seems I'm proving myself right immediately. And Google caught up and is finally able to only talk to Hagvidur, and is gonna get an alliance set up just with him there. But Dan, again, gifting 5 community subs to the Age Buddies. Thank you so much, Dan. Again, really, thank you. It's more than I'll ever ask for. I only ask for follows to show support, to be a part of the community. But now we've got a hype train. The hype train Pog is here to bust in through the scenes. So I'm sorry for the visuals. We don't get to see the center of the screen, but Dan has earned it. So they're dancing here, dancing for Dan. Yeah. I'm head bobbing too. Okay, you can't see that, but the mouse is showing it. So thank you, Dan. You can see right here we've got some fighting. Looks like Google and Sems are gonna fight each other. Not Google. Matthias and Sems are gonna fight each other to death. Bustin', 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 make us bustin', bustin'. Oh yeah. Oh, that got my voice. Bustin' makes me feel good. You know, maybe I'll have a more themed celebration in the future. But for now, this celebration just gets me kind of celebrating. And I mean, that's kind of the purpose of a celebration. Gets me dancing. Once we're done busting, we're going to take a look at what the diplomatic situation is here. Thank you again, Dan. Really appreciate that support. I'll keep saying it because it's more than I ever expect. But it does help a lot. And Dan too. I'm not sure if you've been here to hear this part of it too, but we're gonna be hosting an Age Buddies tournament. So that kind of support is actually going to be supporting those Age Buddies tournaments and going right back to the community. So thank you. You unknowingly are supporting the community even further and the development. So let's take a look here. We've got Sems trying to talk with Google after Google has set up a nice alliance with Hagvidur. There's no response from Google except I'm down to befriend you, old friend. So looks like Sems and Google are going to work together. I don't know if Google knows to pass that information off to Hag, so he knows what to expect. But they're solidifying that alliance with a Wololo, which is actually an Age Buddy's signature on us communicating in the chat with each other. I did also see Maul is focused on just chopsticks, so rightfully so. I think chopsticks is going to be focused on Maul. There hasn't been any type of communication from chopsticks though, and there's trade running north, so maybe there's an assumption from chopsticks that Mr. Chuckles will team up with him again, an ally from a previous game if you haven't seen that. But that needs to be talked about because Maul and chopsticks are likely going to remain at odds even with diplomacy. But we're just going to see the continued push to Imp. Maul is a really dangerous civilization for someone of his elo. Playing as the Goths can actually get very scary very quickly. And I think Inca actually are decent. They've got a decent eagle line that can help fight against the the men-at-arm line, but I don't know. It seems like it's going to be a really tough fight regardless, just based off the skills Def Maul has and the lack of allies that Chopsticks has secured. Knowing Hagbiter, hopefully Hagbiter can see Chopsticks' downfall as his own downfall, especially if they can notice the team up from yellow, orange, and red. That might make it a really easy answer there. But as the teams build towards Imp, I think we're gonna see more unfiltered aggression towards Sems from Matthias here, and there goes the hype train completed. Thank you again. Really appreciate that, Dan the man. Dan always showing up support. So really appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, and thank you for that. I got a hype train emote. Who's this diva? So I'll, you know, gotta give credit where credit's due. Thank you, Dan. And I hope the frames aren't dropping too much. It's been a semi-regular issue today. Maybe it's due to my simultaneous recording, but I should have a higher upload bitrate, and it's not staying there consistently. So Matthias is gonna be stuck in castle. I think so is Sems. This is really just gonna hurt both of them in the long term. But I'm curious to see if it gets to the point where either of them feel like they have to use their king on each other. If Sems is able to push Matthias back, I definitely see the king coming forward from Matthias. He's tried it in a previous game. And there is a relic going from Chopsticks to Def Vader. Def Vader notices it and is thanking it. Chopsticks is pulling a really, really good move and is saying, I bring gifts to you, sire. Please don't kill me. Playing for the diplomacy to not die. Really, really smart of Chopsticks. I didn't expect to see this from Chopsticks. Normally, he does not go for any kind of diplomacy. But let's see if it pays off or not. Def Maul is now reporting this. Oh, did he send gold and a gold and he did. He sent 1,000 gold and the relic. And Def still wants to kill Chopsticks. That's up to you. Do you accept his gift? Oh no, Baldwin. No, Chopsticks. Chopsticks really gambled to win this. It's not gonna pay off. And I think Chopsticks needs to get the allies together. He needs to stop the fighting over here. Or trust his gift is the better question. No is still the answer. And I think Chopsticks is gonna see no, because he sees there's two siege workshops coming up regardless. I think we're gonna need to see an immediate build-up by Chopsticks and some emergency evacuation of some villagers. And I hear some vills dying. And I think that was Def Vader pop maxed, letting some vills die around his buildings here to oh my goodness, to get the military in, and we're holding the gate open. Oh no, Chopsticks. No. And we've got the search looking for oh no, looking for treason, finding the king. Chopsticks knows he can't hold. He's gonna immediately send his king forward. He's got a hole in the wall here. Def Vader sees it. He's gonna try to block with these guys. Oh my goodness, I don't think this actually goes far enough to do enough damage, but Chopsticks is gonna send it, and immediately Chopsticks is out. Def Vader has his first kill, and we're gonna see the destruction of Def Vader's base. So Death Vader got what he wanted. His team is gonna be okay, but he's gonna need to spend some time to reboom here. Google is passing off his SEMS allyship to Hagberger. I think Hag needs to send the alarms. He's going to be the only one here to send the alarms to the remaining players that Dev Vader, Baldwin, and Mr. Chuckles are going to come clean sweep the entirety of the remaining players. GG to Chopsticks. You played a really good game. You were literally the first target out of Death Vader's mouth this game, so there was not much you could have done to avoid his ire. Except maybe get military quicker when you saw the barracks build up, and maybe trying to Diplo a little earlier. And then lastly, you could have tried maybe to Diplo before these kings. Oh no! Oh no! Stems is gonna kill Matthias, and that's gonna leave Hagberder and Google Wise by themselves to defend 3v2 versus the top 3 other players in the game. And there goes Sems. Wow. 35 minutes in, 2 players out. Sems has to try to get a kill. Sadly, Matthias does see it and runs his king north. I don't think Baldwin actually has any official alliance with Matthias, so Matthias is really just trusting that Baldwin does not want to kill himself. And we're going to see this king go into a castle, I bet. This king and Teutonic Knight, they were the last 2 there. Looks like into a town center. I'm curious to see what happens. Baldwin is very likely to spot that. And if he did spot that, he might see some messages go towards Matthias. But I don't think Matthias has anything left. He's got 18 vills. Where could they be? He's got some Teutonic Knights here. And some vills sitting in the corner there. Matthias calls the GG. Please tell me you explode your king. Don't resign, Matthias, if you're going to call GG. I think you're just telling Sems GG, though. And Def Maul is going to sacrifice his king because he sees the way this game is going. Oh, no, he's moving it. Okay. I thought we were going to see another sacrifice. It actually wouldn't have surprised me too much. Oh, Sems. It's not a stupid Diplo game. It's just a bad Diplo choice to attack another low elo player right next to you instead of working on an ally. Maybe it was really Matthias's fault though. He kind of started the aggression from what I saw. But yeah, it's rough. And I think right now Baldwin. Oh, thank you, Baldwin. Baldwin is gonna try and backstab Def Maul with Chuckles here. And I really hope Chuckles goes with it. Chuckles could take this as an opportunity to secure number 2, but they're going to need each other to take out Def Maul. And I think they'll also have the support of Google and Hagberder. So we may end up seeing Def Maul 4v1, which, you know, it definitely did not seem that way at the start. It's something that Def Maul is worried about joining diplomacy games like this too. But if we didn't see the quick death here of 1 Chopsticks and 2 Sems, then maybe their alliance stays stronger for longer. Matthias talking to Sems. It was a really good king attempt. Def Maul's asking for res. Baldwin is now talking to Gray, talking to Matthias to keep him in the game. You know, this can go a couple different ways in terms of the result. It is really cool to have a high elo. I like it. It's less cool for them, and so you know I want to consider their own perspective. That's why, like, if Solof's playing with us, I'll try to help, you know, include him on the balancing decisions to make sure it's still fun too. But it really does change the dynamic, and it really upsets alliances because now Baldwin is communicating with Matthias and with Chuckles. They weren't doing that earlier. I would also agree, Matthias's king is very safe here. If it dies, so does Baldwin and his eco. So it's a really short-sighted move if Baldwin tries to explode them. And a small raid here from Google. This is good. It's busy work. Not gonna achieve much. This is better. A nice raid with a complement of units. Have some meat shield for the hand cannon. And Goths are actually better to fight with hand cannon than like archers. If you had condos, you'd be wanting to avoid hand cannons. But yeah, GG Sims. Well played. Oh, I might need to brush up on my German later and learn some new words there. But it seemed like you were open for also getting a king kill, and then you had only one chance to do it. I'm not 100%. I have some words like open and I, your, king, also, I have the, only, the, so partial translation. Baldwin is ensuring the safety of Matthias's king. Matthias is rebooming in the corner here, which is really good. And Hagbardur's pulling out some nice lancers. This is a really good unit against the steps. And looks like Mr. Chuckles is starting to play both sides still, helping for now. And then they're going to switch and all turn on Darth Vader after that. And Matthias is correct. He might not be the one winner, but he's still in the game, and he can still at least affect the outcome for now. Maybe instead of going out number 6-2, Matthias can hold on until someone kills Darth Vader, or Darth Vader kills someone, and then he goes out 5th. So he could still improve where he is. This is really good from Def, actually, being able to treb from across that pond. Kind of nice. It gives you a little bit of a wall without needing a wall. And again, Goths don't have stone walls. Now this is good for them to play both sides, but I'm curious at what point Baldwin and Mr. Chuckles switch. And I'm curious who researched treason. Do I need to turn treason on too? That might. Kings. I'll turn king on. I guess diplomatic events, and we can turn. We don't have trade on. That's fine. Maybe I'll turn off king events. Yeah, I want to watch that to see when they turn on Darth Vader. So. And Baldwin is talking just to Matthias still. Not sure about what. Oh, outposts maybe? Matthias declares war on Google. And we did have a king get researched. Did we have another... I don't see a king running. Oh, there's a king running. So Hag got spotted by the terrible 3-0. Turbo Trio here. Oh, now Google has declared war on Baldwin. So if they're gonna switch on Def Vader, they need to do it now. Def Maul. Or they're gonna risk ruining their own alliance. Because I think Def Maul can actually 2v1 Mr. Chuckles and Baldwin. They just have the right units for it, especially because Mr. Chuckles doesn't have the greatest for Goths. I guess Burgundians is pretty good against Goths. But like a Rambai is one of the better units for Bulgarians, and you don't quite get that. Or Conic, excuse me, not Harambe. I'm thinking Burmese now. I guess Conic are okay because it's infantry and cav, and that's fine versus Alb and other cav. So this is really rough for Hag. I think Baldwin and Chuckles need to make their decision and switch now. The issue is pulling it off. You need to really pull it off efficiently to ensure that you're giving as least warning as you can for Def Maul to kind of fortify up. Looking at the res, though, Baldwin is stockpiling a lot of res. Def Maul is fighting, so he's not able to do as much of that. And, yeah, Mr. Chuckles is certainly putting on the show. I think they're gonna have to do a lot of work to convince Google and Hag to fight Def Maul if they can get to that point. And they're coming over here to clean Navy, but there's actually no Navy from Teal. I'm not sure if Baldwin is doing this to show why he doesn't have any units on the front fighting. It's a good idea if that's the case. But it's kind of going to be a useless Navy. At least until they can switch enemies and attack all the trade from red. And excuse me, you can hear my voice giving out. And just give me a second to take a sip from my water here. And we're now seeing, oh, Hagbardur's king is going. Oh no. Hagbardur's king is going to explode right in front of Baldwin's base. So now Hagbardur is out of the game, and Baldwin can't effectively push right away without needing to first rebuild some of his military build-up here. Well played to Hagbardur. You got your king out there. Excuse me for the lack of commentary there, as I was getting my voice back in shape. GG's. There goes Hag. Actually keeps all of Baldwin's military production alive, but now we need to see that that foretold switch. I think we need to see the switch of Baldwin and Chuckles, and Google needs to be brought into to kill Def Maul. Right now, it looks like Google is just going to be next in line to get steamrolled. And I agree with what Sems just said there while he's still hanging out and observing the game, that the balanced map didn't really come through. There wasn't any water access there, so there's a lot more early fish here for the team on this side of it. But maybe that's something that scouting could also show too. Matthias makes it into Imp. but is he going to be able to help? I'm not sure. I think Matthias is going to be included on this team, so maybe once Google is pushed and killed by Def, we'll see the switch from Chuckles and from Matthias and Baldwin. Since Matthias is kind of living as a subjugate to Baldwin. Def Maul is turning on his team, though, and he's asking Google to ping Orange's king in exchange for his life. Google, who was previously attacked by Orange, might actually have a reason to do this, but he's not allied, and oh, I guess he could use treason and find the king that way. And I don't think we're going to see that. There's no more castle for treason to be researched. And instead, we're going to see this king run. I really like this for Google, too. He's getting all of his military, and he's running it with the king. If we see a transport ship come, then that would be the best to try to get the king to the other side. Fortunately, there's no easy navy or path to get there. So right now, we've just got Def Maul pushing in further and further, running after this king. Oh, we do have actually 2 more castles here. Maybe that's something that Google can work on. Oh, he is. He's going to work on allying and then getting the location of Orange's king. Now, is this something that Baldwin is going to be able to spot? No, there's Navy. Oh, okay, we're good there. Now, I'm not sure. Does Google know about researching treason? I hope he does. I think he's going to heal his king with this, but he actually just needs to garrison his king, and he'll heal in the castle. No, Google, garrison your king. Google! Google! Oh, no! Oh, no! He's down. Okay, so the game has played out kind of how we thought it might have since that initial fight between Sems and Matthias. This team never came to fruition. Google's unfortunately not able to save his king. Doesn't provide the information that Def Maul was looking for either. So now Def Maul is in a really unfortunate circumstance. I think he knows he's going to be betrayed on, and looks like he's got his sniping force ready to go here. But he's going to try to get in there and take down Orange's king. If Def Maul is smart, and he is, he's a high elo for a reason. He's going to go on red and go for the turn. Baldwin spots it too, and Def Maul is going to just start talking about the obvious here. He doesn't know that they're already spotted, so this kind of is more distraction from Def Maul. Will Baldwin take the distraction, or is he already going to say, I know what we're doing, you're coming for me? Sola viewers till the end. Ah, I see. Further splitting. I like this. Trying to talk to Mr. Chuckles and to only pull Mr. Chuckles. Mr. Chuckles is going to agree. He's just going to take the middleman spot between Baldwin and Def Maul. So that's going to be interesting. It's actually going to be Def Maul versus Baldwin and Matthias. As Matthias is going to use his king to kill Def Maul. Okay, we have to follow this king. Where's this king? There it is. But we do have a ton of infantry in these siege towers. And I think they're going to pop out. Unfortunately, Def Maul doesn't know where the king is. And doesn't know that the king is in this castle. He has a good idea. He actually has clicked the correct king. But he doesn't know for sure. GG, by the way, Google. We saw your explosion here. Well played. It was a good attempt. Thanks for joining. It was great having you, getting you in the game. And Baldwin's king is out. Right into another castle. but it got out. And actually, I think that's all Deaf Maul can do. And now we see Mathias's king in Baldwin's transport being guarded by Baldwin's navy. Baldwin's navy is getting distracted with the trade cogs. I am curious if there's any navy from Deaf Maul that could do any damage. There's Mr. Chuckles' navy, but Mr. Chuckles and Baldwin are still friends, so that shouldn't be too big of an issue. This push has been cleared up now, but Chuckles is here with Connix, and that's a really good unit against a bunch of infantry. You first have to kill the cavalry, does a good job, and then the infantry re-rises and fights again. So this is actually looking really good for Team Underdog, which is to say everyone except Deaf Maul, who's the highest elo. Seems like it might be a tough spot. Baldwin's not able to get back there quite yet, or is just saving the bomb. And Deaf Maul is in a transport. It nearly goes down. There's enough navy. That's why we get the pullback from Baldwin. Deaf Maul was smart enough to know this was coming and got all of his vills into a transport and then back out. Wow. I'm glad that was your first. We'll definitely get you in the next ones too. And I'm also glad you got a gifted sub from Dan. Okay, so looks like the king for Mathias is just gonna sit here with Baldwin. And Deaf Maul is really, really determined to win this game, it seems. Understandably so. He's holding. He's got Goths, which is a good civ to use. Just not sure where he can go to. It's actually not holding his land eco. He's holding on water. But I guess he can run out to the deep blue ocean with his king. Regardless, I think we're gonna have to see a really concerted effort to get some fights there. And doesn't look good for Deaf Maul anymore. I think I said he was holding. When I said that, I think it was the exact moment he stopped holding, so... Oh, and Deaf Maul is declaring war on Chopsticks because he doesn't have enough Eco KD before he dies. Hey, I would do this too. You know, pad your stats a bit. Thanks, Chopsticks, for allowing that opportunity. Oh, did you get a castle sniping the trade? I didn't see a blue castle there. Maybe I missed it. But that is always nice when you can hold that spot. And, yeah, looks like full navy here from both of our teammates. You know, this is really Deaf Maul's first Age Buddies event, so we could call him a new Age Buddy, but this is the Age Buddies versus the non-Age Buddies. Yeah, I can't really say non-Age Buddies, though, because that's too exclusatory, and Age Buddies is never that exclusatory. It's like Deaf Maul's still trying to make something happen here on land. I like it. Oh, and Mathias is pointing out where the king is, which is currently not obtainable from land. I like the idea of these trebs. Unfortunately, the Dramens are the perfect anti-treb. So we're really going to need to see bombard cannons or cannon galleons. But yeah, we need to see a massive navy. And just a ton of fires would actually work perfect here. Eventually, you're going to whittle him down. Def Maul is out of gold completely. He's limited on food and wood. But he's getting his eco up. His KD's going up. And Mr. Chuckles is taking some random raids too. On his, what he might feel is a mostly open map. And the king! And the king! And the king goes down! And Dev Maul dies out at sea. Oh wait, there was no king there? Oh no, it just... Okay, it took a second to update. I was so confused. GG to Dev Maul. That was a really good attempt. It's really tough once you're 3v1 like that. But, oh brother, indeed. That was a crazy... I almost missed that. It was a good run. I think you were probably going to end up trying, to land over here and then run in, and that probably would have done a lot of good damage to Orange. I'm curious to see if they've noticed that you're dead, though, because there's no explosion when the king dies in the water in a transport like you did. Teutons would have been really nice, too. Yeah, I think you would have had better siege and better cavalry that way. And Goths is good, but they do drop off late game. It's funny that you started to betray your team with Google, by the way, Def, because right before that, Mr. Chuckles and Baldwin, and then subsequently Matthias, because he's kind of been saved by Baldwin, kind of agreed to fight each other. So now we're seeing Mr. Chuckles turn on Baldwin. We were probably going to see Baldwin attack Mr. Chuckles if that didn't happen. And so this is now Burgundians versus Bulgarians. I actually don't have any good opinions on this kind of civ matchup on who might be taking the spot here. Oh, it's so true. It's kind of understated how hard it is for high elo players to win. And then when they do win, people kind of go, well, they're the highest elo. We expected them to win. But it's much more nuanced than that, and it's much harder too. So I'm curious to see, okay, here's that question answered. If Matthias is going to pick his side here, I think Mr. Chuckles needed to try to talk to Matthias and betray Baldwin. But really, I think by this point, Matthias is just going to stick with Baldwin. Matthias was saved by Baldwin. Matthias is not the person to betray him, and we've got a raid in, busting in from Nestius Plays. Thank you very much. Welcome in, Raiders. Thank you for the raid. Hope you've had a great stream. We've had a pretty good one, too. Had a good amount of community games. Oh wait. I just tried to raid, not shout out. My bad. You did a raid, and my brain is not functioning. Thank you very much for the raid. Thank you, Raiders. There's a shout out. We're not raiding you back. Could you imagine if I didn't cancel that correctly and just accidentally raided mid-game to the person who just raided me and ended their stream? Boy, that would be catastrophic. Anyways, that's the kind of fun you'll have here on the H Buddies channel. As we watch the end here of this game, it's a diplomacy exploding kings. We've seen Mr. Chuckles and Baldwin here in the orange fight the entirety of this game with each other. They've now only recently turned after killing Darth Vader, a 1700. But Baldwin does have control of Matthias's king, and generally does have Matthias's loyalty. So if Baldwin continues to feel the pain here, we might end up seeing that king explode. Now, these guys are on Discord. The Age Buddies does hang out together on Discord over voice. We play team games, community games on Sundays, and other 1v1s. So they do have the option of communicating that way, and they might be talking about their options. I just saw Treason Research I think we're going to see a king explode. And I don't see any king move. That could have been researched by anyone. This is a super fun game. It's Coastal, which has been a fun map. A very interesting map. A strange amount of wood, too. Thank you to everyone who's followed, by the way. I appreciate that. Thank you, Sergeant Jahili. Thank you, Nessius Blaze. And actually, we are 1 follower away from our follower goal of 130. That would actually hit us at 2 different goals today. 1, which was to have fun, and 2, which was to hit the 130 follower goal. And there it is! Nate Dizzle does it! Nate Dizzle busts in with the last follow, and we're up. And now we are only 10 followers away from our goal of 140 followers, guys. Can we make it happen? Oh, I can't change my free bird. That is the thank you celebration for reaching that goal. And we don't need to go to another goalpost. Goals are a scam. It's so funny. I just can't resist. Every time we reach a goal, I just immediately have to put out the next goal. It's just, it brings so much joy to my heart, a smile to my face. So Baldwin is kind of dying, and this is kind of an underdog story. This might be a situation of a Civ having an advantage, but if I'm Baldwin, I'm using my Matthias bomb, and I'm gonna even up the score here. I'm gonna say, Matthias, I saved you earlier. I'm gonna call in that same favor here. Now everyone in this group is fun, and they have a lot of fun together, but I don't know if they're gonna do that. They might think it's too mean to sacrifice, or they might not be willing to do it. And Matthias is talking about switching into pikes, and that's a good option too. Maybe there's better value to having extra military units. And thank you, Coco, for subscribing for 4 months. Really, really appreciate that. Thank you for the message too. A lot of positivity. Unless you are watching Nessius Glaze on Glade, not Glaze. Nessius Blaze playing on Glade, losing. You might see more positivity. Yeah. If you're losing or you're watching Nessius lose on Glade, yeah, I could probably be at a funeral with more positivity. Okay, maybe that's a little goddamn, but I couldn't resist. Now, I always have fun watching you play. You're always in my background, and I'm always watching the Nessius Glade show, or the XYZ strat you're hardcore playing. I don't know. I am on 6.5 hours here, so we are not long for this stream. I appreciate the raid nonetheless, but I apologize if I am starting to show a little bit of tiredness. And we've got our moving king, and this is Baldwin telling Matthias to die, because this is Baldwin's transport, and I think we're gonna see the king get researched for treason and immediately sent into the middle here. This is the ideal location. If Matthias can get his king here without being noticed and explodes, that guarantees the most coverage over where the king could be hiding. Let's see what happens with this. The moans of dismay we live for. You definitely... I can actually hear those in my head. So that's so accurate. The problem with not having allied victory is that the final 2-3 players can take an hour to finish the game. That is true. That is true. I think that's a fair consideration. One thing I didn't do on this or the game we had previous to this was to have Chopsticks set this as allied, but also conquest, or what is it? Conquest, where you also have relic and wonder victory. Oh, Baldwin's asking for permission, but I think we're past that. There's a lot of Halb here, but I think Halb still loses to what Chuckles has here. Baldwin has nothing left. Matthias is actually slinging Baldwin, but he has nothing left. So I think this is going to be like the last hold, or we're going to see. Yeah, here we go. We're going to see Mr. Chuckles win if this king is not used. But we might just be in a stalemate where if this king does not kill Mr. Chuckles' king, but it kills Mr. Chuckles' eco, then we're gonna have a trash war between Baldwin and Mr. Chuckles, and then we may really be here for a bit. Yeah, I think ensuring we have Relic and Wonder Victory 2 Hag, I think that's gonna be a good thing going forward. 13 Batards and a king. Let's see what happens here. You're being controlled by two different players here, and let's stay on their vision because this is really gonna tell us what they know about the game. Do we have murder holes? We've got murder holes. So this is not a long-term strat to get the king for Mr. Chuckles, but it is working. And that castle is really low. And there is no king in there, actually. It ran. But that would have been a really good timing to get the king from Mr. Chuckles. Okay, here it is. The king's going in. But Matthias is going first. And I don't know what the Batards are doing now. I think maybe the Batards could have tried to take out the Krapos first. But regardless, Mr. Chuckles doesn't see it. So Matthews' sacrifice, GG to Matthias, might play off here. And if Mr. Chuckles notices the king is here, then he can save it and win the game. Otherwise, this game is Baldwin's to win. And GG is had. Baldwin wins with his king out to sea. After Mr. Chuckles was like maybe 2 minutes off of killing his king just by ramming it down with hussar spam. And is instead surprised to see his king explode with Matthias. Well played to our final three. That was a really intense ending to the game. I'm a little bit shaky here because of how close that was. That was almost too close for comfort. Really well played. Baldwin pulled his king out at the exact right time. And Matthias was willing to put in that last sacrifice. Those petards on their own were not going to be able to do enough to take out that king or take out the castle that the king was in. And then it was just a matter of Mr. Chuckles not being able to notice where Matthias died. I'm not sure where he was looking when that explosion happened, but maybe we'll jump in here for a post-game interview. Oh, nope, they're not in Discord, so there's no post-game there. But well played to all of our players. Wow, that was a lot of fun. What a game. Let's take a look at some stats before I accidentally exit out and we lose it all. Mr. Chuckles coming in, Elite Conics coming on actually as an OP unit. I undervalue them normally, but they're definitely stronger than they look. At least with how this game went. And Mr. Chuckles, I'm not sure where you were looking on the end of the game there. You can give insight to where you were looking. But well played. You nearly had the king. Just bashing it down with Hussar, that castle. So well played. The most buildings raised. Chopsticks had the best KD because he exploded Death Vader early on. Very intense and fun game. You could see where Death Vader started killing all of Chopsticks' villagers. The trade profit had by Mr. Chuckles, Death Vader, and Baldwin. They were trading on water that entire game. So really good job from them. And you can see it all right there. So well played. A couple twists, a couple turns that game. There's some APMs for those who want it. You looked for the king, but when it died next to mine, but unfortunately didn't see it. Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's hard to see the king, especially because the animation that shows here doesn't actually show for the players. It just shows the king's body. So you have to kind of see that and be aware of it and run it. But that's kind of the hard thing with these diplomacy games is especially if you don't play them a lot. They're kind of special settings and they're a bit different for win conditions and late game strategies that you might not always go for on the ladder. So GG. It was so close. I think Matthews, if you didn't explode the king there, Mr. Chuckles wins this game. Just looking at how much res is left, because there is nothing left. Like Matthews slung Baldwin, and then he had nothing left. So it was it was a good game. Well played. Thanks everyone for watching. If you want to be a part of these games in the future, then feel free to join the Discord. That's where you'll see us posting about the stream schedule, typically every Sunday. And then also we do play Age Buddy games during the week. They're not always streamed. They're not always community games or Exploding Kings, but we play a bunch of ranked games. So feel free to use the Discord. It's in the link of this video. Also in the chat there for anyone watching live. Yeah, you can get us some games in, play with us there. So until the next one, take care.